Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast of the Canadian Prairie. I'm Andrew Pritchard, meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Well, a new pattern is taking hold, one that features a ridge across western and central Canada. That's going to allow some seasonally appropriate and warmer than average temperatures to build into the region. We're not going to be scorching by any means. It is still mid to late January, but temperatures running a few degrees above average feels wonderful compared to the brutal cold that's set up over the region over the last 1 to 2 weeks. Now, we got a mostly quiet week to talk about. Most of the activity, the heavier snow, going to be north of the borders of Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Manitoba, north of the primary Prairie region. We do have a late week storm system to talk about, though, that could drop a little accumulating snow primarily across south central Alberta, getting into southern and central Saskatchewan, but even some very light snow possible in southern Manitoba as we get to the very late part of the week into the weekend. Now, as we look at the satellite picture right now, all sorts of moisture being blasted into the coastal regions of British Columbia and the Pacific Northwest. Much of that moisture being wrung out here along the coast in the high elevation areas. But again, we will see a little piece of this breaking off and traveling north of the Prairie here over the next 24 to 48 hours. Perhaps some light snow flurries in the Grand Prairie area early on this Monday morning, maybe even a few snowflakes in Calgary early this morning. But again, much of the heavier snow tracking well north of the region over the next 24 to 48 hours. We'll see that here with the high-resolution Canadian model taking things through Monday night into the day on Tuesday, again with much of that snow well north of the Prairie. Now, ridging overall, that's the pattern as we head through the next week. Again, you see that ridge building across the region. That allows the warmth to kind of surge back in, taking the very cold air that was locked in across the region and displacing that to the south and to the east, across the Midwest of the United States, and us here in Champaign, Illinois, where our office is located. We are experiencing some of that. We are having some of the coldest weather we've experienced since the middle of December, I would say. It's been about a month that we felt above normal temperatures here in the Midwest of the United States, but again, finally seeing a period of cooler temperatures across this region, and that is thanks in part to the ridge that is built in across the Canadian Prairie, giving you guys a break from the brutal cold. So that is good news, and the ridge will continue to kind of dominate the west half of Canada and the U.S., but we will see little disturbances making their way up and over the top of that flow. The first one here over the next 24 to 48 hours, well north of the Prairie, but then again, I mentioned a late week disturbance. You can see that better here as we flip it over. We'll look at the 500 millibar vorticity plot. The shaded areas here, the colored areas of higher vorticity, and that is spin in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and we use that to kind of diagnose where we may see areas of low pressure developing at the surface, cloud cover, and precipitation, generally the interesting weather that we're looking for. So again, a ridge across the region, quiet as we get the week started. You see this little piece break off. Here is the disturbance bringing the snow north of the Prairie Monday into Tuesday. You see it sneaking off there. We'll take that drawing off, heading through the rest of the week, getting into Wednesday and Thursday. Here's a little disturbance right here. This is one that could bring some snow to parts of southern Alberta and to southern Saskatchewan. Very complex pattern developing here. You see several different what we call vorticity maxima, vort maxes, which are, again, areas that we look to for active weather. We've got one tracking through the Midwest of the United States, could bring some snow to our region. They've got another one here across southern Saskatchewan that could bring some light snow in this region. And then even as we head into the weekend, as I take these drawings off, we've got another wave that could eject across parts of the southern Prairie as we get into late Friday, Saturday, into Sunday. So again, these are going to be low confidence as far as their track. I've got high confidence that we will see these disturbances moving through, but with such a complex pattern, so many different players, there's room for these to kind of shift around as we head through the rest of the week. So let's kind of watch them, check back in with the Wednesday update, but we will talk about some early snow totals here in a moment. A way that looks a little more intuitive, we'll look at the precipitation type forecast, again, ridging across the region. As we get the week started, we'll watch this little piece break off and travel up and over the top of that ridge here Monday into Tuesday. There you see it exiting by Tuesday night, taking the drawings off. Then we watch this little disturbance. It's not much, but it makes its way through here as we get into Wednesday and Thursday, perhaps dropping a little corridor of some snow. We then head into the weekend, maybe watching one more little piece break off and traveling across the U.S. and Canadian border as we get into the day on Saturday. That one, very low confidence on the track of that one. But as we just take a look at some different ideas with some of the snow totals, the European model in the top left, the American GFS model at the bottom, or on the top right, and then on the bottom we have the Canadian model as well. Now you see across the corridor here, this would be right between the Highway 1 and Highway 16 corridors. Talking about snow totals on the order of, say, 4 to 6 centimeters. So not going to bury anybody, but still the opportunity for some light snow as we head into the middle and later part of the week. Big differences on where the snow is going to be. And again, that is because such a complex pattern. Each model has a slightly different idea on where these are going to track. So my forecast at this point, going beyond the models, would be along and south of Highway 16 across this corridor primarily. This is where I would say be on the lookout here as we get into the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday corridor, or Friday, Saturday time frame. This is probably where we're talking about anywhere from 2 to 8 centimeters of snow across this region here. And that is, again, quiet Monday, Tuesday, getting that chance for some snow late Wednesday into Thursday and Friday. Temperatures, again, running above normal on the order of about 4 to 8 degrees, which, again, not going to be breaking out the shorts and the T-shirts by any stretch of the imagination, but when we were talking about such brutal cold over the last week or two, this is certainly welcome news. So let's go ahead. We'll talk about the temperatures here at some of our select cities just to wrap things up. Again, keeping things right around freezing in Edmonton, just above freezing here in Calgary. High temperatures between 3 to 7 degrees Celsius. Look at that, above freezing all the way into the beginning of next week as it would stand right now. Talking about Saskatoon, temperatures just below freezing, right around -1 to -5 over the next week or so. Regina bouncing around freezing here, a high temperature of 1 for the day on Tuesday, down to -5 on Thursday, back up to around freezing as we go into the weekend. And then finishing up with Winnipeg steady, right between 0 and -5. As always, Eric Snodgrass has an in-depth look at the pattern evolution over the next 1 to 2 weeks in our Monday morning ag forecast video that's available on the portal right now. Just log in at my.nutrienagsolutions.com. I'll be back to talk about the Canadian Prairie with an update on some of that mid to late week snow, hopefully some more clarity on who will see the snow, but again, understanding a quiet start to the week. But then along and south of Highway 16, the opportunity for at least a few, up to maybe 6 or 8 centimeters of snow as we get to the last half of the week. Have a great day and a wonderful start to your week.